Well, hello, everybody. It's Tuesday afternoon in Nashville, Tennessee. And I want to invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you already haven't. Because if you do, then what happens is that any new video that I have up or new information goes in your feed and you'll be able to know about it. So you're not going to be getting any obnoxious emails or anything like that. It's just a very good way to stay in touch with what I'm doing. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and please do. I have several events coming up that I want to tell you about. And you can go to my website, biocognitiveculture.com or biocognitive.com, either one. And you will see that I have three very interesting workshops coming up, one in April and two in May. The one in April is about what I have been working on for many years and arguing that addiction is not an illness, that addiction is a learned behavior interacting with the genetic predisposition that you have for addictions and other things that I'll be talking about. And I'll be able to differentiate between compulsion, obsession, and addiction. They're different, but they get interchangeably used, even by professionals, wrong. The other one's going to be about the what I call the wounded hero, and this is what that some of us or most of us have had some archetypal what I call archetypal wounds from our culture, shame, abandonment, or betrayal. And that these types of wounds, and I call them archetypal wounds because I've seen them in all cultures, can actually affect the way that we deal with our relationships, with our health, with our expectations for life, a sense of abundance, and all those things. And I will be talking about how to identify them, how to work through them, and how to be able to overcome them and go into what I call your abundance of health, wealth, and prosperity. And the third one is also going to be very interesting. It's going to be about attention deficit disorder with or without hyperactivity. And I also argue, as a neuropsychologist, having treated many, many cases, that it's not an illness. Attention deficit disorder is neither a disorder nor an illness. It's an abundance of curiosity, a high level for novelty learning that is unharnessed, that needs to be treated and needs to be taught to be focused, but not as an illness. Illnesses give a sense of helplessness, especially when they tell you it's an illness that has no cure, like, for example, with addictions or with attention deficit disorder that you need to take medication. Some people do need medication, but a very, very small percentage. The rest are ways of learning through Tai Chi, through some biocognitive techniques that I've developed, karate, meditation, diets. One of the problems with attention deficit disorder is the amount of sugar that kids consume and the overstimulation of information. So it's really an adaptation to, with intelligent kids, adaptation to overwhelming of information. And it didn't exist 50 years ago. There were very, very few cases. But now you're overwhelmed with information and you're overwhelmed with having to choose information. That, along with genetic predisposition, and also from boring teachers and boring schools. A lot of times kids get bored and then they just go into some kind of never land. But you notice that when these kids with the supposed attention deficit disorder find something interesting, like a video or something that they like, they're absorbed for hours. So what happened to the dopamine there? What happened to the dopamine transmitters and the RD4 gene and all those kinds of things that are there? But it's not like because you have neurochemistry, it means that it's an illness because you can identify it and explain it with a change in neurotransmitters. Well, you have neurotransmitters when you eat ice cream or when you go to the bathroom. So what are you going to have, a toilet disease or toilet illness? It's ridiculous. But it has to be treated and has to be dealt with in a way that is not necessarily an illness, but is a dysfunction that can be changed and can be helped. So these are some of the things that I'll be talking about. And I hope that some of you join me now. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask them and I'll try to answer them for you. But remember, go to the website, biocognitive.com, and you'll see that the first workshop is going to be about addictions are not an illness. The next one is the wounded hero. And the third is going to be attention deficit disorder is not a disorder. and is not a deficit. It is an abundance of curiosity that needs to be dealt with, harnessed, treated, and then allowed to glow in the world without having to feel like you're sick or there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's just a learning process that needs to be identified and that needs to be dealt with proper treatment. But I think that also education has failed students. A lot of bad teachers that don't need to be teaching them because of the restrictions that are placed, very difficult to fire them. Or some of the curriculum that's more politically correct than substantive um, subjects that need to be learned in school. The kind of thing that tells you, well, it's better to get a C if you're happy than an A if you have to work really hard and be unhappy. That's ridiculous. When you get to the real world, they don't care how happy you are. They want you to perform and they want you to have the skills to perform. So, those are the things that I'll be talking about. Some controversial, and I call it science with a backbone because a lot of scientists are not willing to talk about these things or they don't believe them because they're taught this kind of postmodernism that tells you that everything is relative and that everything's okay and there's no universal truth and there's no universal morals. So it really creates all kinds of problems that I will be talking about and how it affects addiction, how it affects learning, and how it affects a sense of selfhood, which is also very important. I don't see any questions, so I guess I'm just going to go ahead and end this and invite you to join me and take advantage of this information that you'll be getting. And if you have any questions, of course, email me or place them here on YouTube. But we now have over 515,000 views and close to 7,000 followers or subscribers. We need subscribers so that we can get the information out to you. So if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and please join. Simple, free, and your feed will have the post announcement so you can go and take a look at it whenever you want. There's some that are going to be in Spanish, and most of them are in English, of course, but it's for both groups. So enjoy and subscribe and go to my website so you can benefit from these workshops that I'm going to be doing. Have a great day. Bye bye.